Hello, my name is Sally Pinto, and I'm the Program Director for the Yonkers NORC, Neighborhood Naturally Occurring Retirement Community. We serve seniors 60 plus in Northeast Yonkers. We are under the auspices of WJCS and the Yonkers Office for the Aging. We also have a resource specialist and a nurse on staff. We conduct virtual programming in partnership with the Yonkers Public Library on a daily basis. Enjoy the program.
We'll get started seated today. I think my puppy is gonna try to make an appearance because she's eating her ice cube. So you can start to get seated and you can sit up on a blanket, you can sit up on a pillow if you want to elevate the hips a little bit if that's more comfortable, and it also increases the distance between your hip and your leg. So if you're feeling extra tight there today, you could also just sit up on something to give you a little extra space, a little bit more breathing room in the hips. And then find any position you want with the legs. We'll change it as we start to move, but for start and settle into class, just find anything that works, anything that feels comfortable to hold and breathe and settle in. And I invite you to close your eyes, or you can always just soften through the gaze. Starting to soften the shoulders away from the ears. Relaxing the jaw. The muscles of the face. Checking in on your breath. Just observing the inhales and exhales. Just noticing how your breath is flowing today. Noticing how the inhale feels, how the exhale feels. Remember that we're not trying to make any judgment here. We're really just being curious. The breath and the sensations are constantly changing. There are so many things that can be affecting your body and your breath and your minds. Just taking a few more rounds of breath to settle into the space here. Let's invite one more round of breath. can start to drop your chin to your chest. Just allow the head to get nice and heavy. Just gently start to rock the chin across the chest. Just rocking gently from side to side. Not trying to go really fast. Maybe after your next rock, you start to find your head go all the way to the right. So you're still rolling the chin across the chest, but then allowing the right ear to fall to the right shoulder. Your gaze is forward and pausing here. So we're not trying to add pressure by trying to feel like we're pressing the ear towards the shoulder. We're not even going to lift the shoulder up to meet the ear. We want to keep the shoulder relaxed. We want to just let gravity take over. Allowing your breath to move. The breath is a great way to just ground you and bring you back to the body and out of the sensations or the distractions. Couple more breaths with your right ear to your right shoulder. Last breath here. And then just slowly start to let the chin roll back to the chest. And all the way over to the other side, letting the left ear come to the left shoulder. Allow the left shoulder to be nice and heavy. You may notice that the sensation feels a little different from side to side. Just observing that and noticing that. A little while longer here. It's okay if it doesn't feel like you're doing a whole lot. We have so many little muscles that are holding up the neck. Then connect to your upper back, your shoulders, and just work its whole way down. Most of us have some level of tension in the neck and upper shoulders. So even this simple move and holding intentionally for a little while can be really beneficial. Just a few more breaths. Last few breaths. After your next breath, just nice and slow, start to let the chin come back to the center of the chest. And let the head be heavy here. Slowly start to lift the head up in really slow motion. And then when you rise to the top, you might even just add a little shoulder roll. Go both directions. You can also be completely still. Yogi's choice. Listen to what your body needs here. And then just allow the shoulders to be nice and heavy. And find a full, powerful breath here. Deep inhale in. And exhale it out. Just start to lift your arms all the way up. You can reach them all the way up to the sky. And then gently release them all the way down. Reach the arms all the way up to the sky. And release them all the way down. start to reach your arms up to the sky, but let them pause when they get about shoulder height. You don't have to keep them really straight. You can always have a little bend in the elbows. Go ahead and give yourself a hug. Like you're trying to reach for the shoulders. So that right hand is reaching for the left shoulder and the left hand is reaching for the right shoulder. And it doesn't matter if they're holding the upper arms or the elbows even. And then just let the arms get a little heavy. Start to feel them relax. And as you do that, I want you to bring your upper back with you into that heaviness. So just start to feel like you're pulling the shoulder blades apart, rounding the spine, trying to create a little bit of space between each vertebra. And now you can keep your gaze a little forward, or you can let your head come into this with you and let the chin drop to the chest. So think of this as a cat pose with a little hug. So we're really focusing on creating space in the upper back. You're also probably creating a little bit of space in the middle back and a little bit in the lower back as well. Our legs have also been in the same position for a while, so if at any point you feel like you need to change them, go for it. And remember too that you can always adjust anything you need, whether I remind you of it or not. As we continue to hold, you feel like you can get heavier in the rounding, go for it. But try not to like lean more forward. So really try to keep like kind of everything aligned, but just with the rounding. I want us to focus on the shoulders and the neck and the upper back today. The lower back will benefit, but it's not our target area. Last couple of breaths here. Your head is heavy. Really slowly lift it up just enough So you have a little bit more space for the whole upper body to just lengthen out. And let's just let the arms get really heavy and relax to the ground. Pausing in this neutral position. Just one more breath. Are welcome to add a little movement here. So you can almost come into that counter and just open the heart and squeeze the shoulder blades together. You can add a little movement in the shoulder blades, or even just be still, just a couple of breaths. You might even roll the shoulders and do one shoulder at a time. Helps with the mobility in the scapula, which is the shoulder blade. Start to settle into some stillness here. If you haven't already, go ahead and change the position of your legs. You might have to bring some feeling back if you haven't moved since we started. Again, I don't really care where you go, but just find something different. So that could simply just be switching the cross. Could also be butterfly or just legs out in front of you. And then just bring your hands by your hips. So wherever they decided to go, wherever your legs decided to go, just bring your hands by your hips. And then start to round the spine again. But this time I want you to feel the weight shift towards your middle bottom. So instead of sitting on your sit bones, you're actually kind of pushing them, rolling them a little bit forward so that way you're sitting more on the muscle. You're not going to hold this that long. It's kind of a pain to hold. But I want you to just feel like you're trying to create a little bit of space in the middle back. So imagine where your rib cage is at. Just creating a little bit of breathing room there. Literally and figuratively, because that's where your lungs are. The head can be wherever's comfortable. We're just going to do 2 more breaths here because it's awkward to hold. Use your hands for support. Last one. And then just start to bring yourself all the way back up. And then walk your left hand over to the left side. And reach through your right side body. So I think we did this last week, but we've done it many times, but I feel like we did it really recently. But I want you to think that like you're creating space in between each rib cage so you've got more room to breathe. And you can do whatever you want with this right arm. It can reach up overhead. Know that that's a little bit more active. You can keep your hand on your hip. You can keep your hand on your knee. But I want you to just bring awareness of the stretch into the side body. Anything you want with the head and neck, it can be forward, or you can even bring your gaze towards your left hand. really feel like with each breath you take, you're actually creating more room in the rib cage, therefore allowing the lungs to expand even more. Few more powerful breaths here. You can play with it and see if you can go a little bit more. Create just a little bit extra space before we come all the way up. Last breath. Slowly start to bring yourself all the way up. Take a full breath here. It's okay if you feel a little crooked for a minute. We're going to even it out. And let the right hand come down by the right hip. Walk it out to the right side. And then feel that expansion and length on the left side. You can always start small. I know my left side is a little bit tighter in because we were kind of scrunching it in for the last few minutes. You might kind of start a little bit in, take a couple breaths, and then slowly go a little deeper, take a few breaths, and then just kind of continue that until you feel like you're where you want to pause. So just remember, there's never any rush to get into a shape or into your deepest point. Last few rounds of breath here. After your next breath, nice and slow, start to bring yourself up. And really feel both sides of your body grow nice and tall when you get here. You might even do a gentle lean from side to side just to kind of realign everything from the two directions. Or even a little baby cat-cow. Just taking a full breath here in stillness. Changing the position of your legs. You can shake them out a little bit, pull out the ankles, and we'll begin to make our way onto our backs. No rush to get there. Take whatever you need on the way. Allow your body a few moments to just settle into this new perspective in class. Last couple of breaths of anything you need to arrive here. Begin to place your feet on the ground so the knees are pointing up to the sky. Just start to walk the feet as wide as your mat. If you're just on the floor like I am, just try to take them a little bit wider than your hips. And then pause. Allow the lower back to adjust. Just begin to windshield wiper the knees from side to side. And allow the windshield wiper to drop all the way to the right. So letting both knees point to the right. That left hip can totally lift. It doesn't have to stay on the ground. If a prop feels comfortable here to hold, go ahead and slide a prop underneath maybe your right leg. Once you have your props arranged at the legs, reach your arms up to the sky. So we're going to give ourselves that big hug again. But this time, let the left elbow come on top. So before we didn't even observe what side was what, but now we will. Again, you can hug towards the shoulders or the upper arms or the elbows. It might be a little harder for the elbows to get heavy here, so just kind of let gravity decide where they want to stay. And again, focus on that feeling of trying to gently press the shoulder blades apart. And reconnect with your breath. If there's any pain happening in the left knee at an internal rotation angle, which sometimes feels good, sometimes it doesn't. It's painful, so not just uncomfortable, but painful. You can extend the leg long, but keep that right leg in almost a half butterfly. So I just want you to release the hip flexor since we've been sitting for so long. That is an alternative as well. Or you can just stay where you're at. A few more rounds of breath here. Start to unwrap the arms and allow the arms to come back by your side. And slowly start to let the knees point back up to the sky. Find a little rock of the knees again from side to side. And let the knees drop all the way over to the left. So we're just going to do the same thing on the other side. So adjust your props, move your props from the right side to the left. Get yourself all set up in the lower half before we add the arms. And when your legs are all set up and they've got what they need, you can reach the arms up to the sky. Give yourself a hug with the right arm on top. Just a really subtle difference. Feel the shoulder blades gently pull apart. Few rounds of breath here. Last one. Slowly start to unwind your arms. And then come by your side. Slowly let the knees come all the way back up to the sky. You can stretch your toes forward, reach your arms up overhead. Take a full body stretch. You can even kind of stay in that kind of position, just with the arms outstretched, with the legs out wide. Allow the shoulder blades to be really heavy here. Checking in with the jaw and the muscles of the face. You are welcome to stay here for the remainder of class. Or you can always kind of just tighten up your Shavasana. Just bring the legs a little bit closer together. Maybe bring the arms by the side. You can always roll on to your side. If laying on your back just does not suit you. Just allowing the body to stay nice and heavy here. Taking these last few minutes of class in complete and total gratitude for your practice today. Shavasana. Slowly starting to bring some awareness back into the space. And bringing some awareness back into the body. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. Rolling out wrists and ankles. And rocking your head from side to side. When you feel ready, just really slowly starting to make your way up to a comfortable seated position. No rush to get there. Pause wherever you need to on the way. And when you arrive in that seated position, keeping your focus inside, gently bring your hands to heart center and bow your head. Thanking yourself for making it to your mat today, for your practice, for your energy, for your breath, and most importantly, for yourself. Namaste.
Hi, everyone. This is Z from Yonkers Public Library. Thanks so much to Sally Pinto and Alexis from Newark. Thank you to our community partners, WJCS, the City of Yonkers Office for the Aging, Friends of Crestwood Library, and Yonkers Public Library for making this phenomenal partnership. And we thank each and every one of you for being part of our wellness community. Be well, stay well.